Hey, it's Mila, and welcome back to my channel.
I go around and I go around and I go around, I go around. I'm always out, I am always out, I am always out, I'm always out. I keep running so I don't have to go.
Hello. So I have honestly not sat down to film a video in a while. Like, I know you're gonna see videos before this one comes out, but I kind of like took a break. I had to figure things out with life, and this is my first time like actually sitting down and recording. So this feels weird. This doesn't feel like super natural, but like, we're gonna ease back into it as if no time has passed. So if you're new here, my name's Mila. I make everything from lifestyle, bookish, post-grad content. We sometimes talk about, I guess, like pop culture things. I don't know, like we talk about reality TV shows, we talk about like other shows. Like, I'm planning this. Oh, is it coming out? I don't know if it's coming out the end of this month or end of next. No, my bad. End of this month or beginning of next month. But I want to watch like the entire Twilight series because it's just like so fall coded as like a 24-year-old adult. To be like, does it live up to like what we remember? Because everyone is like, oh my god, Twilight this, Twilight that, and I was like, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. Like, I don't feel like super attached, and I'm like, it would be so fun to watch it as a like someone who has like a fully developed brain and be like, what was this, and we also do a little bit of like, we talk about songs, like back in September or is it August, I don't remember, we talked about Sabrina Carpenter's new album Man's Best Friend, and I think last week we talked about Taylor Swift's new album. So if you haven't seen that, definitely go check that out. And yeah, we have a few music things here or there. I'm sorry, I have an eyelash in my eye and I'm like currently okay, slightly better, have my vision back. So if any of that sounds fun, definitely hit the subscribe button down below so you're notified every single time that I post. And today, let's just go right into it. So today we're gonna be talking about all the books that I want to read this fall. Am I gonna get to them all? Realistically, no. Let's be perfectly honest, absolutely not. But it's the intention that counts. It's the thought that counts. And it's the fact that I took the time to go on my shelf and find these books to be like, I want to read these. That counts. So we have a little bit of everything. Like, weirdly enough, I don't have like as much dark romance or like college romance as previous years. Like, I really focus in on fantasy, but it's like fall fantasy, because there's like winter fantasy, then there's fall fantasy, if that makes sense. I'm really focusing on fall fantasy right now. I think we're gonna keep fantasy till the end because it is my biggest pile. We're gonna start with like lighter romances, very like dark academia fall things, thrillers, dark romances, and then jump into fantasy. So first book, it's the only college romance that I have on my little TBR for this season, and it's called Falling by Janissa Boswell. So this is a college romance. This is like hockey player, figure skater. Obviously, we all love a good hockey romance. So this combines college romance and hockey romance and figure skating. So right up my alley, we love. And this one, honestly, I don't think I've ever heard anyone talk about it. I was just going on Amazon and what was I doing? I think I was looking at like small town romances and this popped up. It's not a small town romance, but it just popped up and I was like, oh my god, like figure skater, hockey player, add to cards. I know I'm gonna love it. The other like more lighthearted romance, it's well, this is like a series that I do want to finish because I did read the first book. When did I read it? I think back in like May or something, not sure. I didn't bring the entire, okay, so actually I have a few series here. I'm not bringing out like every single book from this series because my hand is actually gonna like collapse. We're just doing like the next book in this series that I have to read. So here we have Wild at Heart by Kay Tucker. This is the second book in the Little Simple Wild series. So I have book 3, oh no, my bad, book 2, book 3, and then this tiny small novella. So am I gonna finish reading everything this fall? I do not know, but I definitely do want to read book 2 because also like, do you see the cover? It's like red trees, it's like fall. I don't want to read the back of it because obviously like I already know the characters, I know the plotline of the first book, and I'm like, this is just a continuation. Like, I'm ready to just go in and like explore, I guess. But basically, first book, we have this girl called Calla who lives in Toronto, and her parents got like separated when she was like really young. She never met her dad, right? But her dad is sick, so she's like, you know what, let me just go back to, excuse me, I lost my train of thought because I had like a sneezing fit, but we're good. What did I say? Yeah, so her dad lives in Alaska and he's sick, so she's like, you know what, let me go meet him like before he dies, get to know him because it's literally like the only chance I'm ever gonna get. So she goes, she meets this guy who works for her dad. What's his name? It starts with a J, right? Jonah. She meets Jonah and you have their little romance, and the book ends with her moving back to Toronto, and Jonah comes to, you know, bring her back to Alaska. So I do not know where this book is going to go, where it starts off, where it ends, but that's a little, I'm sorry, my eyelash is like back in my eye. Give me a second. This is not a great start to today's video. Then this is the only actually, I have another book that's dark academia, but it's more fantasy, so I put it with fantasy. But the real like dark academia book that we have is, guys, I swear to God, if I do not read this book this fall, please unsubscribe. If We Were Villains by ML Rio. Everyone says I'm gonna love this. I have not read it. I don't know why. It actually makes me like so mad that I have not read it, because I know I'm gonna like it. Like, it's been on my shelf for so long that I generally forgot what it's about. All I think that I remember is that there's this guy who was in like, I don't know if he was like a theater group when he was in school or some like club, whatever, but everyone is in jail besides him, right? Is it this book? I don't know, but I think it's something like this, and it's told in like a play type thing. I don't know. Like, honestly, at this point, I don't even want to know what this book's about. I just want to read it, get it off my TBR, because I know I'm gonna love it. I just have not read it yet. Okay, so now let's move into thrillers. So this first book, I wouldn't really call it a thriller, I'd call it more like crime, if that makes sense. I read the first book of the series back in June. So good. Literally the best thing ever. It's a long series, so I don't know if I want to read the entire series. Like, I do want to advance, maybe read like the next 1-2 books, but definitely want to try to finish the series before the end of the year. And well, the second book in the series is The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown. So I was told that I would love The Da Vinci Code. And then when I realized that it was a book, not just a movie, I was like, oh my God, I have to read this entire series. And the first book in the series, I was like, oh, you know, like it seems fine, but it's not like what I'm super, super interested in. I'll just read it like because I have to read it to read this. 5-star rated. 5-star rated was amazing. I'm so excited to finish the series. Like, it's impossible to put these books down. Like, you just start reading and it just goes, oh my God, my books are gonna fall. You just go and go and go, and the next thing you know, you're like 100 pages in. Plus the chapters are so incredibly short that it's just like, it's so good. So I'm so excited. All these books are like movies also, so once I'm done reading the book, I can go watch the movie. So it's just like even more Dan Brown, like, I was gonna say lore, but it's not lore, more just like energy, if that makes sense. Next up, we have 2 books from Frida McFadden. These are the 2 Frida McFadden books I have on my shelf, and I do want to read both of them this fall. So first we have Never Lie. I think this, there's a newlywed couple that goes to buy a house. This house used to be this like asylum or something like that. No, I don't think it was an asylum, but there was this like psychiatrist who used to live here. And the couple finds these like tapes in the probably attic or basement of the house, and things get a little bit creepy, so super excited to read that. We also have The Inmate. Well, I feel like it's more self-explanatory than Never Lie. Honestly, Frida McFadden books, it's like I read it once, I'm like, yeah, sure, cool, love it, and then I don't want to read it again. So since I forget what The Inmate is about, we're not gonna read it. But I don't know if these are like a highly rated books. Like, I think I saw, this was maybe like a year ago, someone posted a video of like reading all of her books, and I don't remember seeing Never Lie, but I think The Inmate was like very highly ranked. So I'm excited. The only Frida McFadden book I read was The Housemaid, so I do not know if it's her writing style that like sucks me in, if it was a hype, whatever, but a lot of people really, really like her, so I think I'll really, really like her. After that, we have this random thriller I bought at like Walmart. It's called Dark Arrow. So this is a type of like past and present timeline. I don't know if we're gonna see both timelines, but basically in the past we had this detective, right? This detective who was working a case, and this was like maybe 20 years ago, right? Then today we have a copycat killer, and the guy from the previous case, I forget if he like was never caught. It was like a false, not a false suspect, but like they caught the wrong guy, or like what the lore was behind that. But there's a copycat killer, and this detective thinks that like there's a connection to the past, something fishy is going on. Yeah, once again, I've never heard anyone talk about this. So, and you know what, 30% off. So I was like, you know what, the back seems good, let's pick it up. And it's just giving, like, do you see this cover? Fall vibes. So those are all for the thrillers that I do want to read. Now let's hop into the darker romances. So this one, I don't know if it counts as a dark romance, probably not, but it didn't feel like fantasy either, so I just put it over here. And we have A Touch of Malice by Scarlett St. Clair. So last year I read A Touch of Darkness. Earlier this year I read A Touch of Ruin. Okay, so I had a friend who read A Touch of Darkness, and she was like, that was the best book in the series. It all just went downhill from there. But A Touch of Darkness, I was like, okay, it's good, but it's not like, oh my god, wow, this is like absolutely everything. But I loved A Touch of Ruin, so I have very high hopes for A Touch of Malice. You know, I really think I can finish the series before the end of the year. Like, I was like, you know what, early fall I can read A Touch of Malice, then at the end of it, like towards December, read A Touch of Chaos and close this series. Am I tied down to finishing this series before the end of the year? No, but I really think I can. So actually, yes I am, because I think I can. I think it's very realistic. I read one in like November, I read the other one in December, and voila, we're done. Next, this series, I don't have all the books of this series. I have this one and book 3. There's 3 more books out there. Will I buy them to finish the series? I do not know, but at least these 2 next books on my shelf I do want to read. And that's the rest of the Never After series. So I have Scarred and I have Wretched. Yes, Wretched. This one, it's a Lion King retelling. So it's with Scar and Mufasa. I don't know how that plays out. Then I know that Wretched, the girl, is like the bad guy, and I think it's a wizard. It's the Wizard of Oz retelling. I think so. I'm not sure. I really liked Hook. It's like the only thing I didn't like about Hook is the characters, I guess, like in a sense, naivete that it was like girly pop. How are you not like clocking this? Like, how is it not clocking to you? I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this. Maybe it was just the heroine. Is it the writing style? I don't know. Like, it wasn't bad. I was just like, oh, it's kind of like detached me a bit from the character because it's like girly pop. Like, are we not seeing the same thing? So yes, this series I do want to continue. Am I tied down to buying the rest of the series? If it's for a very good deal, yes, but at least the next 2 books on my shelf are gonna finish. This series, I've been putting it off finishing this next series because I'm like, I don't want this to end. I don't want it to end. I'm so attached. I read 1 book every single year to put it off as much as I can, but this year is the year that we're gonna finish the Devil's Night series by Penelope Douglas with Nightfall. Do we see this chunk of a book? I know so many people love Kill Switch. Kill Switch is Damon's book. I didn't like it that much. I don't know what it was. Like, I feel like I overhyped it so much because everyone was like, oh my god, it's my favorite book. But then people's least favorite book was Hideaway, which is Kai's book. But I loved Kai's book. Like, Kai and Will were my favorite characters. So I'm so happy I finally got to Will's book, because just like the lore behind Will's book, I'm just like, oh, feed it to me. But I also don't want the series to end. So it's kind of like a bittersweet thing. Like, obviously I do want to read the book, but I've also been putting it off, and I'm like, you know what? Like, get over yourself, suck it up, sit down, read it because you want to read it. Like, stop making yourself suffer. Just read it, close a chapter. We can move on to better things. Speaking of better things, we have another dark romance series. Oh my god, I remember I once had this guy read the trigger warnings for the series, and they were like, Mila, like, are you okay? Like, should I be concerned? And I'm like, well, you know, my friend here read them and she was like, oh my god, you're gonna love it. So I was like, no, you don't have to be concerned. Basically, this duology, oh my god, it's like a walking red flag. And my biggest thing was that, like, okay, it doesn't feel like a romance, doesn't seem like a romance. Is it actually, like, will I actually like the characters? Is it gonna feel like a romance? And my friend was like, you know what, honestly, I thought the exact same thing as you. I was like, there's no way this is a romance. This is crazy. This is psychotic. I was like, so, like, I was curious, but I was kind of like turned off with like all the trigger warnings, but I was curious. And she was like, you know what, when you read it, like, you do, like, it kind of like pinches your heartstrings. Like, maybe that's not the best word, but it's like you do see why it's called a romance. I have book 2 here because book 1 was like under a bunch of other books. The little duology is Hunting and Haunting Adeline. I've had this on my shelf for so long. I'm like, this is the year that I read it, because I'm just done putting off knowing what messed up nonsense is in this book just to understand, because I'm so curious. I'm genuinely so curious. How is this a romance? Do you guys want a reading vlog for this? I don't know. Let me know down below if you want a reading vlog for it, because I feel like it could be fun just to see my like reactions, because it could either be like, oh my god, I'm eating this up, or it can be like, what the hell is this? Like, I want to stop reading it. Like, I want to cleanse my eyes with holy water. So we will see. We will see. And let's move on. Let's move on to the biggest pile right now, which is fantasy. So the first book we have, this is a series I've had on my shelf for so long, and I'm like, we are finishing this duology this year, and that's The Ravens. Sorry, I thought I saw a spider for a second. The Ravens by Cass Morgan and Daniel Page. And I also have the second book in the duology, which is The Monarchs, that's on my shelf. So this, it's like witches. I feel like I haven't read books with witches, right? This is like witches, kind of like sorority. So I don't know if it's like considered YA or like not, but I'm intrigued. You know, I was like, witches, sorority, we're good to go. Because I don't have a book about witches this fall. So super excited. And again, no one talks about it. So who knows, I might be able to put you on to a very cute, fun book next month when I do my little wrap up. After that, actually, you know what, I feel like this could have also fallen into dark academia, but it felt more fantasy, and this is A Deadly Education by Naomi Novak. So this is a little trilogy. I only have the first book, and I was like, okay, like, you know, do not buy the rest of the books before you start reading the first book, because knowing you're gonna buy all 3 books, they're gonna be on your shelf for like years and you're never gonna read them. So this year we are reading it because from what I get, it's kind of like Atlas 6 vibes and like Secret History, but like more fantasy. No, not I wouldn't say more fantasy than Atlas 6, but it's more like college. So maybe like a little bit of like Zodiac Academy where it's like in a school, stuff like that. I'm very excited because the premise seems super cool. I think this is the book where it's like there's no teachers, right? I think there's no teachers. The school is like evil. We love this series, guys. I'm reading it. I promise I'm gonna read it. Cruel Prince by Holly Black. So this is, okay, to be perfectly honest, I'm filming this in September. This is on my September TBR. So would I have read this by the time this video comes out? Possibly not, but this entire series I do want to read by the end of the fall. Well, basically like by December. It's about time. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't even know what this book is about at this point. I just know everyone loves it. I'm gonna love it. I just know first book, don't really focus on the romance because it's not there, but then the romance builds. So do not like, you know, throw it away. Like, not throw it away, but like don't like DNF and like don't like not continue the series because you're like, where's the romance? Because it does come later. That's all that I know. I know absolutely nothing else except that the main character is called Jude. That's it. I need to read it. I just need to finally pick this book up. The next book we have is a little trilogy that I'm so excited to read, and the covers are gorgeous. It is the Darker Shade of Magic series by V.E. Schwab. This, it's like, I don't even know what it's about. There's 2 like alternative world, like the dark London and the light London or something like that. I don't know. At this point, this is a pretty old series. Like, it's been out for a while and people have been talking about it for a while, that it's like, I've read the back of the book so many times and I was like, oh my god, this seems so cool, but I keep on forgetting. But yeah, I want to read this entire series. Maybe not by the end of December, but at least before like February, you know, like read one of them per month, just like start flying through them because it seems so interesting and I know a lot of people love it. I just have to get to it. But this fall is the fall. Speaking of, the fall is the fall that I started reading things that I really have been putting off. Throne of Glass, guys. I promise I'm gonna bring a reading vlog with the entire series. I just have to do it because I literally have ACOTAR. I have all the ACOTAR books on my shelf, but I'm like, I'm not gonna start reading ACOTAR until I read Throne of Glass. I don't know how it's gonna go, but we are reading Throne of Glass. Like, when I do my everything that I read in 2025, please expect the first 4 books in the Throne of Glass series to be there. If not, feel free to unsubscribe. After that, we have a series that I'm not sure if I do want to film a reading vlog on because I feel like it could be fun, but I feel like it's not as like big of a series as like Throne of Glass and ACOTAR, so we do not know yet. And that is the Crave series. I don't know what it's about, honestly. Like, I've had it on my shelf for so long that I don't know what it's about, but I know it's like a trashier, more like modern version of like Twilight. Like, Twilight is like millennial coded. This is like Gen Z coded. That's like what people have told me. So it's like the modern version of Twilight, and I was like, you know what, I'm like watching Twilight again as a like adult, might as well read this also. So yes, I have the first 4 books. I got all of them, like I got 4 books for like $30 on Book Outlet. So the next 2 books that I buy, like I was like, I'm not gonna buy the entire series now, I'm gonna start reading it, then buy the last 2 books. Probably I can get them for like a very good price. Like, Book Outlet really came through with this series. So how much do I want to read? I think I want to read maybe at least the first 2 books, and if I bring out a reading vlog, it'll probably, like, I'm aiming towards April because I am also planning out a reading vlog for I think February, March of next year for the Chestnut Spring series. So this would probably be the month after that, given that I can find the time for it. But yes, so excited for this series. Like, I'm not going in expecting like literary like extravagance. I know it's gonna be trashy, but trashy in the best way possible. Speaking of trashy in the best way possible, Zodiac Academy. Zodiac Academy. Guys, the chokehold this series has on me is insane. I'm at book 4. I know I'm not gonna finish this entire series. I have all the books, but guys, oh my god, like when you go to book 9, it's like 700 pages, but the writing is like one line in this book is like 2 lines in the last book. So am I going to read this? Absolutely not. I mean, no. Am I going to finish this before the end of the year? Absolutely not. But at least book 4 and book 5 I do want to read. Possibly book 6 if I'm feeling it. Unfortunately I started Zodiac Academy before I even thought about doing a reading vlog, so I can do a reading vlog on it. But you know, you're gonna see it. Like, I'm still continuing. I think I brought out, when was it, earlier this year, a like finishing series I'm in the middle of reading. Like, I'm definitely gonna put a bunch of these books like in the like part 2, 3, 4, whatever that I started filming, because guys, the drama in these books, like, I got so many people hooked on them. Like, we all love Zodiac Academy. It's basically like, okay, so during the summer, Love Island is my like drug, right? In the winter, Zodiac Academy is my drug, if you catch what I mean. Next, we have something that can also kind of be dark academia, but it feels more fantasy, and that is the Atlas Paradox. And then, oof, can we see this? The Atlas Paradox, and then I don't have it on me right now, but on my shelf, I don't know if you guys can see it. It's like a little red hardcover over there. The Atlas Complex. So I read the Atlas 6 last summer, and I loved it how we ended. I was like, this is so dramatic, I need to know what happens next. But it was like summer, so I was like, I'm not gonna like go more into fantasy like during the summer, because like that's just not the vibe. Then this last winter I got so busy with school that I didn't read much. But now we're reading it. Now we're finishing the series. This is a series that I do 100% want to finish by the end of the year, and I'm pretty sure I can, because like honestly, I truly think like I will start reading the Atlas Paradox and immediately after go to the Atlas Complex, because like normally I do like to kind of like space out the books in the series that I'm reading, unless it's for like a reading vlog. But I feel like this time, no, I'm just gonna go one after the other, get it over with, because I have to know what happens next. I have to know what happens next. After that, we have a series that I think I do want to bring a reading vlog out on. I'm still not 100% sure if there's like a 4th book or not, so TBD, we have to go check that out. And this series is Fourth Wing. Do I want to finish this entire series by the end of the year? No, but I do want to read Fourth Wing just to like understand what the hype is about, because I'm like, okay, like the love interest is like half dragon. That's like, well, I mean, I guess like Darius from Zodiac Academy is half dragon, so that's like the same vibe. But in my head I was always like, oh, half dragon, and it's like you're at a school where there's dragons and like people and like you ride I don't know. I definitely have my questions about it, but I'm intrigued also. I have Iron Flame and Onyx Storm on my shelf. Is there a 4th book? I don't know. I think I saw it at some point, but then the Goodreads wasn't like updated, so I was like, okay, is there actually a 4th book or is there not? I don't know. But we are reading Fourth Wing, at least Fourth Wing, maybe Iron Flame if like I'm feeling a little spicy, but at least Fourth Wing we have to read before the end of fall. So we're at the last 2 books. These last 2 books are standalones. The first one we have is Rouge. Oh my god, speaking of Mona Awad, I think I was going online so when I saw this like other book, it's like I think a like few years later after Bunny was set. And I'm intrigued, but I was like, no, finish the other Mona Awad book you have on your shelf before buying that new Bunny book. And we have Rouge by Mona Awad. So I forget what this is about. Yeah, I don't think I want to read the back. I just want to like go in blind. But from what I remember, this girl's mom, I think, dies some like mysterious death, and she finds like some ties to this like little club in like California called Rouge. And stuff happens. Like, I'm going in expecting the same vibe as Bunny, like the little like horror, graphic horror where you're like uncomfortable but you're like confused, you don't know what's going on. I think that's what we're gonna get in Rouge, and I loved Bunny, so I know I'm gonna love this. And finally, the last book, guys, this has been on my shelf for years, literally since I started my channel, since I started reading again as a like adult. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I feel like I'm gonna love this book. I've never picked it up. So I was like, you know what? This year we are picking it up. Like I refuse to go into 2026 not having read this book. Like, I'll actually be so mad at myself. Like, you see how there's like wear on this book because it's old and I have not read it yet. I'm like, Mila, what are you doing? What are you doing? So those are all the books that I do want to try to get to this fall. Is it ambitious? Yes. But do I think I can get it done? Like, absolutely yes. I'm like very, very delusional, but you know, like summer was a time where like we go out, we do things, like we spend time outside. Fall, it's like the cozy vibes, and this entire week it's supposed to be raining, so I can definitely finish at least 2 books this week. You know, like I'm currently working on finishing up my Adixia Calloway Sisters series because I think I'm gonna bring out the reading vlog part 2, so the last 5 books of the series, maybe in a week or two. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm working on that. I can definitely read one of these books also. You know what? I'm probably going to read The Cruel Prince. So when this video comes out, you would have probably seen my, like, me talk about The Cruel Prince in my little, September wrap up. But we'll see. Yeah, like, I definitely think I would read more in the fall. I'm also traveling in November, most likely. I'm not like solo traveling, but I'm like solo traveling to like visit a bunch of friends in like a bunch of different like European cities. So do I want to read thrillers by myself? No, because I'm probably going to freak myself out. But then I also don't want to bring like a hardcover. So I'm going to see what I can do to bring as much of these books as I can on the plane with me. Because again, like I am flying for so long by myself. I'm in a train for so long by myself. I'm going to read. So I'm thinking at least like 4 books if I'm gone for like almost 3 weeks. I don't know. We will see. But yeah, I truly think I can get some reading done. I can read at least half of these books, at least half of them, very possible. So let me know down below which books you want to read this fall, and if you've read any of these books, let me know what you think. Please, no spoilers, so we can all experience it the same way that you have experienced it. And if you have any other book racks or any other exciting fall books that are coming out that you're excited to read, definitely let me know down below so I can secretly add them to my shopping cart so I can buy if I'm feeling like a little rebellious. If you want to go check me out on my socials, my TikTok, Instagram, and Goodreads are all linked down below. And yeah, that's it for me today. So stay safe, protect your vibe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, guys.